Dad went and got another 30 teeth. So it's 60 some teeth. And we put them all in. And we're still 5 teeth short. But we can rake hay with that, being 5 teeth short. But we just finished that part. Now we got to find a bolt, put in the rest of it before we can go to the field with it. But with a bolt missing out of the tongue. But that one, other than that oil change on the 40/20, that one should be almost ready to do something. But we still ain't fixed the diskbine yet. So we got to get that done yet. Howdy y'all, May 23rd. Sitting there looking at taking this diskbine apart and seeing what all we got to do here. We just pulled this shield off the inside to the secondary gearbox. Tried to take this cover off, but I ain't man enough to turn that wrench. And the other gearbox sits right on top of this gearbox in here. So I want to take this one off, and I've never had it off. Dad took it off one time. I think I seen it off one time. That was about it. Let's see what's going on here. And I gotta figure out how to tear that gearbox up there apart so we can fix this thing. This door here was a pain to get open. People stopped running into trees. We'd have a pretty nice diskbine here for its age. But that's what happens. Yes, that's right. I was the first one to run into a tree. But I ain't the last one. And it wasn't the last tree either. So, anyways, we're trying to take this apart so we can see what we're doing here, because we don't know what we're doing at all. So, I don't know what Dad's doing. Everything down here don't look terrible. We just need to hit it with the leaf blower. Now let's look at figure out how we tear this apart. Take this cover off, and I think everything's got to go up through the top to separate. At least that's what John Deere told us. I don't know. Y'all see that cheap leaf blower? It's a cord leaf blower. Well, a fellow was getting rid of that one day. Said it didn't work, so I took it. Guess what? It works. We don't use it much, but you know, it's free. So we took it home, and now we have it, and it works. Dad brought it back here to blow the machine off, so I just used it. Trying not to get into all that. We'll do that another day. That'll make a bigger mess, but we just wanted to clean up this area that we're gonna work in and get rid of all the stuff on the ground that fell off. So yeah, sometimes when it's free, go ahead and take it. You might have to take the effort to throw it in the trash, but you know what? Sometimes it works. But don't be a hoarder. I think I got to take this out, and then this cap comes out somehow or another. Might have to drive it out, but I'm gonna take this apart, even if I don't know what I'm doing. Dad said one time before, this cap on top tried to come out. He beat it back down in there. Well, we removed these covers on the top. Tried to take these bolts out of the bottom, take this whole gearbox clean off. There's like another chamber down in here. Well, we took a screwdriver and a hammer, and drove that cap up out of there. And then we took some pliers and another pair of pliers and got that snap ring out. Well, y'all, we got the gearbox off. It could have came off this whole time, but we couldn't get it to go. So after beating and banging on it, to get the bearing out the top, the whole gearbox decided it wanted to loosen up to come on off of there. So we pulled it off. We tried the snap ring pliers, but we ain't got no good snap ring pliers. Take snap ring out. We got the other snap ring out. But we got the whole gearbox out of there. If nothing else, he can take it to John Deere tomorrow and get him rebuild it. Because we still don't have enough parts to fix it, actually, I don't think, he said. But anyways, it's a part. It's farther along than we were yesterday. Well, we got to get the races out of the gearbox now. I got the rest of it tore out of it, one piece at a time. Well, we can't get the snap ring out. We don't have any good snap ring pliers. And we don't do this enough to know what we're doing. But wherever it's at. But there's a snap ring, there's a gearbox. We got one more race and a snap ring to take out of there. And then we can put it back together. But if we had cheaped this, if we had just cheaped it and put the bearing in the back, then this is what we would have missed. Is this bearing here was missing a couple rollers. It was broken and eat out. And it was missing a couple ball bearings. I was missing a couple of those. So if we'd have cheaped it, we'd been tearing this back apart again. But I need some better snap ring pliers. And I got to get this race out yet to put it back together. Still have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Our shafts got a little bit of a bugger on them, but I think they'll survive. Got a little bit of a booger. And let me spin this gearbox around. And our gearbox had a little bit of a groove in it right there. Little tiny bit of a groove in it right there where she was rubbing. But anyways, yeah, this inner bearing was gone and the outer bearing was completely missing in there. So the rest of these were all good, but here's a shaft. This is how this goes together, wherever it's at, this other shaft. This spline right here goes down in here. Let's see if I can get it out of there. Let's see if I can get it out of there. And there's this collar that connects these two gearboxes together with a snap ring in the middle. So that comes up the same way inside of this casing. And then this with the snap ring just drops down in there. And then the other one sits right on top of it. So after we got the beating and banging, I guess the two of them decided they wanted to loosen up a little bit and they started moving. We were able to lift the box out of it, but we couldn't get the box out first. It wouldn't move at all. But after he turned it a little bit, it came loose. But anyways, that's all our parts. Now we need some snap ring pliers because wherever these little cheap ones we got here weren't sufficient enough. So, and John Deere forgot two parts. They gave us all the parts. They forgot this race and this cap up here. This cap here that goes on top. Of course, I done damaged it. That could probably be put back in there. I'd have to straighten it out though. But that could probably be put back in. But those are the two parts they forgot this. They gave us this bearing, but they forgot the race. Well, snap ring is still in there. But I got the race out. I got the spacer out. I got it all apart. The snap ring won't come out. So I need some new pliers. But anyways, y'all, there it is. I'm going home. Go home and see whether or not I'm gonna work tomorrow. I don't even know. Didn't do nothing today. But anyways, work definitely slowed down. So, worked Monday. Catch y'all later. Howdy y'all, May 24th. I was sitting here changing oil in 40-20. But I didn't get no video of it. But anyways, pretty standard process. That cover right there, take those 4 bolts loose. That's your oil filter. Oil plug underneath, drain the oil. On the other side right here is your dipstick. That's where you fill it back up. Pretty simple process. This tractor doesn't hold a lot of oil. I don't know how many quarts it actually holds, but I put like 4 quarts in there and it's up on the stick. So of course I hadn't started it yet, but I just started it here a second ago. We'll check it tomorrow. But yeah, for some reason I guess John Deere didn't think it needed a whole lot of oil, you know, compared to some of the other brands. But anyways, but that's what I've been doing this evening. Dad went and got the rest of the parts for the diskbine, and he's sitting over changing blades on it when I got back here. And so hopefully we'll get that put back together tomorrow or the next day, and we get the rock and roll in here. I do need to change the oil in the 10, but we'll do that tomorrow because it's already time to go home now. So somebody went out the driveway trimming trees with their big piece of equipment. Look at this. Look at this. All the way to the driveway like this. I'm assuming it was a big John Deere with a disc. But anyways, they was trimming the trees.
Oh, I have much room now. Look, Dad.
Howdy y'all, March 27th, I think. We're trying to put this gearbox back together. We don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it. We got one brace in there on the inside, and we got the bearing on the shaft to matches up on that side. Now we got to put this side together, but we ran into an issue. We got a little bit of bearing here that we need to get out before we try to drive past that. A little bit of bearing, probably not a big deal, but we're gonna try to touch on that just a little bit before we try to drive the race through it. But anyways, we don't know what we're doing. John Deere gave us the wrong parts. Most of the right ones, but we ended up with a couple of the wrong ones. But it's all good. We'll make it happen. We got enough here to do it. We just got a few extra. That's all. But we don't know what we're doing. We don't do this every day. If we did this every day, this would be no big deal. We don't do this every day. But we got that one in. We got that one in. This one here will go in. We already had it in. Then we got to put that one back in. I'm trying to get this one and the big shaft in there to get this part put together. Gear and driving the bearing. We need a short block. She went to find one. Well, we're making it look like something. I don't know what to tell you. So I'm looking at John Deere's diagram, and check out what they did with this bearing right here. Over here you see the race and the bearing. Down here, they got the race and the bearing going the wrong direction. Ain't that something? Over here, they show it right over here on this side. But over here, they got the bearing flipped the wrong way, on the wrong side of the race. I'm aggravated. I can't get the bearing to go on the end of the shaft.
This is how I fixed my sciatica.
So then it fell apart on me. Because we've been beating and banging on it, trying to get it to go on there. So I don't know what to tell you. Other than I half-assed it. But anyways. Well, we gave up on diskbine. Because we don't know what we're doing. So I'm gonna put this lawnmower tire on here. I don't think I can screw that up. Well, we got the PTO fixed for the baler. I'll go over here and put that on. Since we can't figure out the gearbox on the diskbine. And the bearing fell apart. So. Well, we tired. So we decided to do something where we don't have to be too energetic. Day's almost over, right? We're gonna come out here and just make it look a little better. Knock these weeds down and come back and rake it and see what it looks like when you bale it. We ain't never done that before, but we're gonna do it. Just for the heck of it. See what happens. Well, we put our horses away for today. We made 3 rounds around the field. Emily found a calf. She was laying right out there in the middle. I never seen a calf. I didn't know what it looked like. But she found it.
It got yellow.
If we'd have been busy, we'd have found it the hard way. Need to mow the grass around here.
It got yellow too.
Yep. I need to get me a spacer. I need to sit that bush hog up just one more hole. Because right now it's in lawnmower mode. I need to sit it up just one more hole so that it'll cut close but not drag the ground like a lawnmower. And I flip most of the time when we bush hog around here, we just flip the thing in the back that keeps it from going all the way to the ground, the stop. We just leave the stop all the way down. We mow it with the bush hog all the way up, sitting on the stop. And just cut the tops off and leave the rest. Normally when we're just out here cutting the pastures to cut the pastures to keep them down and keep them out of the cows' eyes and stuff. Normally we just cut it that high, but we're gonna rake and bale this stuff. we're going to need to cut a little bit lower because we don't want it dragging up. We don't want the grass dragging up in the pickup. So find me another stop. We got something right here somewhere, and we will take care of that. But we're gonna get doing something, even if it's wrong. So catch y'all tomorrow.